Hello Pokemon trainers! Welcome back to another Pokemon TCG Pocket video here on iStarly TV. I know I haven't been doing that many TCG Pocket videos, not as many as I'd like, but I wanted to try out some. I've been wanting to make some Pocket content for a while and just kind of see how it does. And today I wanted to feature a deck. I wanted to try a deck that, is kind of unique, kind of fun, and it feels like a lot of the different typings are pretty well explored at this point. Like, if you think of fire types, it's like, okay, you can play Blaine, you can play Charizard. If you're thinking of water types, there's Gyarados, there's Greninja, etc., right? There's a lot of pretty well-known decks right now. And of course, we are a couple weeks away, like a little under 3 weeks away from the new set, which is going to release a lot of new cards. So I think when that comes out, I'll try to start making a lot more TCG Pocket content because I'm really excited for that set. Obviously, Mystical Island or Mythical Island, whatever it was called, was a new set, but it was a small set. It only added like 60-something cards. The new set, I think, is set to add probably as many as Genetic Apex had, so that's going to be exciting. Anyways, this is the deck I'm featuring today. This is my Weezing Arbok deck. This is a deck I've been playing a lot since even before Mythical Island came out. It's like one of my favorite decks. And with the new set, we have Mew EX now. And Mew EX is really cool. I mean, first of all, I love Mew. It's one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. And Mew EX is really fun to use. And I love that with Mew EX, you can actually use it in a deck with no Psychic Energy, which I'm actually going to go ahead and... Actually, we're going to try it with both. I thought about cutting it down to only Dark Energy, but we're going to try it with both. Of course, when you run two types of energy, you always get unlucky and you don't draw the ones you want or need at the right moments, but we're going to try it, right? Mew needs 3 colorless energy to use its, what is it called? Genome hacking attack, which is the cool one where you can use any of your opponent's attack, but I still want to try it with the Psychic Energy. We'll see how that goes. Of course, this is a pretty well-known archetype. Weezing is there to get poison on the enemy, rack up some damage over time, and get off, tackles to do even more damage. And then Arbok is there to lock them in with Corner. So the ideal game plan is you Sabrina one of their Pokemon, they switch it in, and then you corner it so that they cannot switch it out. Another ideal situation is you poison them with Weezing, and then you either retreat Weezing or you pick it up with Koga, and then you go into Arbok and go for Corner, and now they're poisoned and they've taken a lot of damage and they cannot switch out. So that can be really good. And of course, Mew is very similar to Weezing in that we put it in there to kind of help set up our Arboks, and then of course we have the Budding Expeditioner card, which lets us pick up Mew from the active spot. So with double Koga, double Expeditioner, and then like double Mew, double Weezing, we have a lot of like really fun like tempo plays where we can just pick up our lead Pokemon and just kind of like do a lot of crazy things where our opponent might almost kill us, but then we get to pick it up so they don't get the prize and stuff like that. So really fun stuff. The rest of the build's pretty conventional: double Pokeball, double Research. I always call it Oak. Double Sabrina, and then it's pretty straightforward in that way. I like Sabrina in this deck because again, it's really good with Arbok. If you have Arbok in play and then you Sabrina them, you force them to switch into something, and then Arbok can corner it, which means that they cannot switch out. So they basically get to they kind of have to lose something that they don't want to lose. So we're gonna see how it goes. We don't have other stuff. We don't have like Giovanni in this deck. We don't have potions, which we might want. Just because we're trying to fit in the double Mew and double Expeditioner. So we'll see how that goes, just for the fun of it. So let's get to those games. And of course, this is my first like TCG Pocket video where I'm actually playing games. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Maybe I'll adjust the setup and adjust maybe the number of games I play, or whatever needs to be adjusted I can improve on over the course of things. We're going first, which is kind of awkward, but we also have the Weezing and Ekans right off the bat. I think we'll lead Coughing. We have Coughing, not Weezing. Put Ekans on the bench and just go from there. We don't have any card advantage. We don't have any like Pokeball or Research, which lets us draw more cards. So that's kind of awkward. But again, luckily we do have the Arbok. So I think my plan is to start putting energies on the Ekans and then evolve it as soon as possible, and then maybe we will draw Weezing. Weezing would be a great draw for us. Honestly, right now with the way things are looking, We kind of don't want to see Mew. It kind of just gets in the way of things. I would just rather draw Weezing and then poison the enemy and then, you know, switch out Weezing and go into Arbok from there. So we'll see how it goes. My opponent's taking a little while to set up, though. Let me know what your favorite unconventional deck is in TCG Pocket. Obviously, everyone knows about Gyarados. Everyone knows about Druddigon, Pikachu, Mewtwo, Celebi. Those are all pretty well-known Pokemon at this point. So what are some decks where you're like, not a lot of people are playing this. It might not be that good, but it's fun, because this is mine. and if I'm being completely honest, it's possible that by adding Mew into this deck, I have weakened the deck. I've been playing this deck for a long time, and before Mew came out, and it was a really good... This is a deck that helped me get my 5 wins in a row emblem. I got 3 wins with it, and then I switched to Mewtwo EX to get my last 2. My opponent finally puts a couple Pokemon into play. They put Sizzlipede in play. I really like Centiskorch. Unfortunately, it's just not that great. It's kind of outclassed by a lot of the other fire types. So we draw Mew, which is the Pokemon I said I didn't want to see. We're going to play that and just pass because we can't do anything else. We could Sabrina. We could have Sabrina there into their Charmander, which honestly could be valuable, but... Because they're going to try to set up the Charmander, but at the same time, they're also going to be probably trying to set up Centiskorch, so it's kind of like whoever we switch them into, like they're going to be setting up something, so I'm not sure Sabrina's the right call right off the bat. Once again, Weezing would be just an excellent draw for us. They hit me for 10, that's fine, we'll take it. Once again, we do not have potions, but there's Weezing, perfect. We do not have potions, but the Kogas and Budding Expeditioners kind of act as potions for our game plan. Here's the thing, because of my Psychic Energy there, I have to make a decision here. Do I put the Dark Energy on Weezing to do a lot of damage this turn, or do I start setting up Arbok? Because I can still poison... Let's do this first. We know we're going to poison them, so let's do that. Arbok's honestly pretty decent right now because they have such weak Pokemon in play. Oh man. I'm going to put it on Weezing. If the next energy is another Psychic one, we're going to be in trouble because that means we're going to be so far away from setting up Arbok. But we're racking up the damage on their Sizzlipede. Obviously they could just evolve and heal it, but... They're far away from attacking us with Centiskorch, even if they do evolve, so I'm kind of okay with that. There's a potion. I mean, the things I'm worried about most of all are evolutions, whether that's Charmeleon or Centiskorch. There's the Charmeleon. And they have Magmar, okay. If the next energy is dark, I will put this on Arbok. It is not dark. Yikes. I mean, I could still put it on Arbok, and whenever we see a dark energy... Huh. That Charmeleon in the back, I'm not liking that. But if they go into Charizard, then eventually Mew might be able to use Charizard's move against it, which could be really, really strong. So we're going to draw a couple Pokemon. Let's go Pokeball here just to do it. Thin out our deck, maybe find another Arbok. And usually in a situation like this, I don't play, like if I have 2 Pokemon, I like wait, because I'm not sure which one I want on the bench yet. So I might actually just hold off on that. Actually, you know what? Fine, we'll play Mew here, just in case they have Sabrina. This makes us a little bit Sabrina-proof. And then, of course, we're going to Gas Leak into Tackle. I think I'm happy with the decision to put that energy on Weezing last turn rather than on Arbok. Although at the same time, if I had put it on Arbok... Actually, if I had put it on Arbok, I would be doing a lot more damage because I could have, again, poisoned them and then Koga the Weezing, go into Arbok and basically kill them. So, I don't know. It's kind of tough because we don't know what they have in their hand. If they have, like, Charizard and Centiskorch and stuff, then that's less good. There's an Expeditioner, which is pretty decent. Really awkwardly, our next energy is still not a dark, so you're seeing in real time the really awkward situation of having two types of energies in the deck. I could Sabrina to get damage on something else, but I don't think we need to mess around. Let's just knock them out. Get the prize. And, you know, we're still pressuring them, and that's what this deck does, is it just racks up the damage with stuff like Poison as well as Corner. And again, I mean, if we ever just kind of like, if they ever go into a strong Pokemon, we just get to go right into Mew and just blast them with their strong attack. So I think that puts like two different angles of pressure on them, because on the one hand, we have Weezing, who is like kind of making, like it's pressuring them. It's forcing them to do things. And then again, if they do those things, we just get to go into Mew and just do a lot of damage. There's the dark energy. The question now, though, is what do we put this psychic energy on? Oh, I'm going to put it on Arbok. That might look weird, but it means that Arbok's ready to go. Because my opponent, of course, is going to be afraid of the Mew. So they're going to like try to be careful with how they use Charizard. So I think I'm kind of safe with Mew. I don't really need to start worrying about setting it up, you know, just yet. Like I don't need to worry about putting that last energy on it just yet. I can put that whenever I need to. And so for now I can just kind of play it safe and just set up the Arbok, because again, we're pressuring them from multiple angles. We could just, if they switch out here, we could just next turn poison whatever they switch into, and then there's Moltres. And then go into Arbok and just go from there. And if they don't do anything else, there's another Weezing. All right, yeah, now we just get to fully set up the Arbok. I think I could Sabrina here, but the question is, like, if I Sabrina, they just go right into Sizzlipede. And then we kill that, right? And so that doesn't really change much. Either way, we're killing one of their weaker Pokemon. I don't want a Koga, obviously. So we're going to kill them the cool way. We're going to end the turn and not attack them, and they're going to die to the poison. But we've taken 2 prizes now, and my opponent, they have to do something, right? And that's where we've put them in this really awkward position, because, again, if they go into something good, we can just go into Mew and just do a massive amount of damage to them. And I think we're going to be able to... okay, they can do this, but I like where we're at, like I keep saying. I think what I'm going to do now is poison their Moltres, and then Koga, the Weezing, go into Arbok and hit them for 60. And then, of course, they cannot retreat. Or I could also... I could Sabrina, but if I Sabrina, then I cannot Koga. So let's put this last energy on Mew. I almost went Koga right off the bat before I actually gas leaked. So we gas leak, poison the Moltres, we Koga, pick up Weezing, go into Arbok, and then play Coughing. And now we corner them. And they're poisoned, and they can't heal the poison at all. There's no way they can heal the poison because they cannot retreat. And of course, Moltres does not evolve. And they're dead next turn, so we did it. And that's why I love this deck, because when it works like this, you're just like setting up all these different things. You're pressuring the opponent, and like they have to do something. And this worked out really well for Mew, like I kept saying, where, you know, if they set up their Charizard and then they go into Charizard to kill my Weezing, then I just get to go right into Mew and then just use genome hacking to copy Crimson Storm and do 200 damage to them and knock them out. So, yeah, this deck can really punish setup decks, which is amazing. So they're going to go the Inferno Dance, which basically at this point is not going to do anything because they can't capitalize on it. And we're just going to end the game. Yeah, my opponent just ends on their own terms. So we get the W with this deck. Really fun deck. I can't praise it enough. Let's go ahead and do one more game and see how it does. Here's our second game. We go first this time. Once again, actually. And this is kind of a rough start. I mean, we have double Ekans, which is not great with no Arbok. However, we do have Pokeball and Research, so we have ways to draw cards. I'm just going to go ahead and not play anything else on the bench here. I mean, obviously, we're about to draw another basic Pokemon here. We're against Pikachu, which I kind of like my matchup against Pikachu. Let's go Pokeball. I've definitely beaten Pikachu. I mean, it might not be Pikachu, but it probably is. And then let's go Research. We did draw Arbok, which is great, and then there's the Coughing, which is nice. And let's just go Pokeball again. We're just drawing all the cards here. Now, of course, if my opponent has red card, that could be really bad for us. Definitely playing Weezing, definitely playing Mew. And the question is, do I want a second Ekans or a second Coughing? I'm just going to go second Coughing here, because something that I like to do when you have Coughing and Koga, or Weezing and Koga, is like, sometimes it's really cool because you like have a Weezing in your active spot and then a Coughing on the bench, and then you Koga your Weezing and pick up the Coughing and the Weezing, and then you can evolve the other Coughing on your bench. So it's like you kind of keep looping your Coughings or your Weezings, which is kind of cool. Unfortunately, my opponent's going to get to put that energy first. They put it on their Pikachu, which is interesting. That leads me to believe that they might have Raichu. At the same time, their Circle Circuit is going to do maximum damage because we do have a full bench. Let's go ahead and go there and then evolve here. I could Sabrina, but let's just go ahead and bite. We're going to go ahead and bite here. And then if they stay in, next turn we get to evolve into Ekans and knock them, or I'm sorry, into Arbok and knock them out. And we have the Weezing here, which is very nice. Magneton, I'm fine with that because that requires so much energy to get going, and it only does 60 damage, which is not very good. They go Research, which is good for them. If they play red card, I might end up regretting not evolving my Ekans. But we'll see. Nice. Okay, this is great for us because we're just going to be pressuring them. Just going to go Arbok and then just knock them out. Although something we could do here... We could Sabrina here. Okay, I'm going to corner. Maybe if I had played that smarter, I could have gone Sabrina before I evolved, because that might force them. I mean, they would probably still go into Magneton, and obviously we wouldn't knock out Magneton in one hit, but because Magneton requires so much energy to set up, we would knock him down to 20, and then we could knock him out the next turn, and they wouldn't be able to retreat because of corner. So that could have been a good play for us, but of course that didn't work out the way we thought. I just didn't really think about it. They could go into Raichu now, and that would be really scary if they do. If they don't, though, then I think we're probably just... Yeah, there it is. There it is. Oh, and then they're going to cleanly knock us out. I kind of forgot about that, honestly. All right. Go into Coughing now. Also, they could Lieutenant Surge, which would let them do that again. So that's pretty rough. There's Koga, but if they have Lieutenant Surge, it's not going to matter. I would love it if we had a... if we had a... Arbok. Could go Sabrina, but I think I just want to get as much damage on this Raichu as possible. I guess if we draw another... We really want to draw another Weezing here as well, just in case they do knock us out, because... I'm expecting them to Lieutenant Surge this turn, which kills my Weezing. And unfortunately, we haven't really set up Mew, so it's kind of rough. I really expect them... I think Lieutenant Surge, they move their energy from their bench onto their active Raichu, is that right? And they just get to use the Poke Power from Magneton, which gives it enough energy for the Raichu. Okay, that's good to see. That makes me happy that they don't have Lieutenant Surge. That means they're not going to just kill us right here. But they are going to Magneton. Huh. I really want to draw another Weezing. This is going to do 60. I guess they really need that Lieutenant Surge now. Until they draw that, we're actually still alive. They have a 1 in 8 chance of drawing it. And we draw Arbok, which I really like. Huh. Do I ever Sabrina here? I don't think we're gonna. This is decent, though. This puts us in a position where basically Arbok can kill just about anything next turn. So they have to think about that. If they don't draw Lieutenant Surge, they really have to think about the fact that Arbok can just kill anything. Not anything. I mean, this Raichu here obviously doesn't die in one hit, but it dies in two for what it's worth, and it requires 2 energies, or sorry, 3 energies. But it looks like they're going to be setting up that. We get to knock out their... No, their Magneton's going to knock us out. That's right. I mean, Lieutenant Surge might not be enough. They could retreat here. Because if they lose Magneton, they're losing all that energy, which I believe is what they need for Lieutenant Surge to go off. Yeah, so, hey, this is good for us. So now... do we Koga or Sabrina? If we Koga, we get to go into Arbok and kill Blitzel, which gives us another point. If we Sabrina, we cannot pick up our Weezing. So we cannot go into Arbok this turn. If we Sabrina, they'll probably go into the 120 Raichu. So we'd be far away from killing them. I kind of want a Sabrina. So if we Koga, we're guaranteed to kill the Blitzel. I'm going to Sabrina. I think they want us to kill this Blitzel. This could be a mistake, of course, but I just want to pressure them. Like, yeah, they go into this Raichu just as I expected. And this lets us just rack up damage on this thing. Let's just do effectively 50, I guess 40. Well, effectively 50 to them. Now I'm worried about Surge. Definitely worried about Surge. Lieutenant Surge would allow them to kill Weezing. Or they could just retreat and go into Magneton to kill my Weezing. But I don't really mind Weezing dying here. There's Research. But hey, Research means that they cannot Surge this turn. Although they could Potion. Potion would be really rough as well because it would just really slow me down. Okay. Again, they cannot Lieutenant Surge because they just use a supporter. They have a lot of cards too, though. I mean, they've got to have something, right? I mean, they've used 2 Pikachus. They could have a Zebstrika. Okay, there's Blitzel. That is pretty annoying. There's another Koga. I could heal my Weezing. Like, what I could do is go Koga to pick up this Weezing, evolve this Coughing into Weezing and put an energy on it, so it's basically like I completely heal my Weezing. I guess I'm gonna do... I actually like that. The downside to that is I do eventually want to start setting up this Mew, but I think this is fine. Because we have 2 Kogas, so, you know, if I don't use Koga now and then they just kill my Weezing, then that kind of sucks. So let's just go ahead and do this. We're racking up the damage on all their Pokemon. I guess... could have gone into... I'm also trying to protect Arbok a little bit. Oh, I just double poisoned them. I'm trying to protect Arbok a little bit, though, because if I switch it in and knock out their Blitzel with Arbok, then they can just go into something and do massive damage to my Arbok. I would rather keep my Arbok as healthy as possible. Sabrina. Just go Mew here. We have Expeditioner. Zebstrika. That is annoying because that slows us down. Next turn, I'm gonna go Expeditioner. Sabrina would be a nice draw. 30 on Arbok. Okay. I think we have to finally knock out Zebstrika. So let's do this. Go into Arbok, which is kind of our most valuable Pokemon at the moment, but it is what it is. Let's start setting up this Mew. And then let me put this other Mew in place so that we're a little bit Sabrina proof, because they've only used one. Get to go corner, knock out the Zebstrika. And the reason I did this is because their Zebstrika's finally doing some damage now, so I just want to end that as soon as possible. And we're at 2 points, so yeah, this is pretty scary. I could definitely see a world where we lose this game, but I do feel pretty comfortable right now. Like, I do feel like we're in a pretty good spot to hopefully win this game, and my battery is pretty low. This is going to be my last battle here, though, so I'm going to charge my phone after that. Okay, they go into their weaker Raichu, but again, Lieutenant Surge is all they need. There it is, there it is. Okay. Knock me out. We go into Weezing, poison them. And then if they have another Surge, we lose, I think. I think we have to draw Sabrina. I don't think that changes much. Huh. Yikes. They have another Lieutenant Surge, we lose the game, and that's how it goes. But there's not really much else we can do here. If we had a second Arbok, we lost both of our Arboks. Yeah, I don't think there's another way around this. We could pick up the Weezing, but then Mew also dies to Thunderbolt, so it just doesn't make a difference. Alright, if they have that second Lieutenant Surge, I think we're dead. Yeah. And they have just enough energies. Yeah. I think that's game. I probably made some mistakes somewhere along the way. I mean, this game was pretty complex, so it's hard to think back to every single turn and like think about what I could have done, but hey, that was still fun. That was still fun, and it came down to that. Like I was always aware of the Lieutenant Surge, but there wasn't really much else I could have done about it. Maybe I should have been setting up Mew a lot more aggressively, because then if they ever knock me out with their Raichu, I could go into Mew and do 140 to them. So maybe I should have been focusing on setting up Mew, you know, sooner rather than later, but it still worked out. This deck is really fun, and it feels really smooth when it goes well. Like I said, I'm not certain about the Mew package, but you know, if you want to build this deck yourself with Mew and Budding Expeditioner, it's really good and really fun, but you can also cut the Mews and cut the Expeditioners and add like more trainer cards. I think there was a point where I had like one copy of Kangaskhan just to have another basic, and then the rest of it, like, you know, Giovanni's obviously good in this deck, Potion's not bad in this deck, plus power, X speed is pretty decent. Like, there's a lot of options, but yeah, this is a fun deck, one of my favorites for sure. So let me know in the comments what you thought about this deck, and if you want to try it out yourself, it is right here. I'll put the complete list in the description, even though you can see it right here. And also, again, let me know what decks you are enjoying the most in the game right now, and also what are some cards you would like to see, or what are some cards you would like to see added in the new set that's coming at the end of this month. I would definitely like to see more dark types and more steel types. I feel like we're going to get a lot of those. So thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you next time.